This dog was starving to death and wouldn't let anyone close. Then one man tried to gain his trust. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and don't forget to ring the bell for more. When this poor starved dog was found, her ribs and bones stuck out harshly, with her skeleton vividly outlined. Indeed, she was possibly not far from death. Yet one man wasn't ready to give up on her. Slowly gaining her trust, he was determined to change this animal's life for the better. The Greek financial crisis, some say, has created the sad reality of these dumped dogs. Ever more people are giving up their dogs to avoid the cost of caring for them. But one man is saving their lives and giving the poor pooches a second chance at being happy and healthy. Namely, Theoklitos Postakis is the man single-handedly saving hundreds of animals. The former dentist, known in his local community as Takis, set up a non-profit organization to help these stray and abandoned animals. Takis' shelter is close to Iera Petra on the Greek island of Crete. Takis set up the sanctuary after seeing the state of so many mistreated pets. He explains, "The situation for dogs in this part of Crete is a disaster. Many of them are used for hunting, and they're abandoned in the mountain if they're not good enough. Others are used to guard houses and are tied to barrels with a 1-meter rope for their entire life. None of them are sterilized, which means that they often get pregnant. Most of the time, puppies are abandoned on the road or in the garbage." The work Takis does to save these broken animals is a truly selfless act of love and care. He uses his own money to rescue the animals, and he has had no help from local authorities. Instead, he sold his own belongings to make enough money to keep the shelter going. He told the Daily Mail, "I am absolutely alone here at the shelter. I have no money. I had to sell my car. I had to sell my caravan. I have nothing. I had to borrow money." Even though Takis finds the shelter cost him a lot, he's still fighting to protect and help abandoned animals. He explained to the Daily Mail, "There were so many dogs and they had broken legs. They were starving and so sick and dying. It horrified me. I just wanted to help them. So I started looking after them, taking them food and water, and I was so happy when I saw they started to get stronger." Unfortunately, some people in the local area were annoyed with Takis. This is because they disliked him for helping the dogs on the streets to live as they were reportedly becoming a nuisance. For this reason, Takis set up his shelter as somewhere safe where I could keep them. So this amazing shelter has grown over the years and is now home to more than 150 dogs, as well as a handful of cats. And the starving dog would be one of the hundreds of dogs rescued by Takis if only he could gain her trust. Takis found the frightened and malnourished animal by some bins where she had clearly been ditched. A short length of dirty rope hung around her neck as a makeshift lead. Her tail tucked under her as far as it could go, and every bone in her skeleton could be seen through her furry exterior. As Takis approached her, she backed away from him, barking and showing her teeth. Despite his best efforts to comfort her by whistling and talking gently to her, kind treatment clearly disturbed her. But this display of fearful aggression did not put Takis off. Moving his hand very cautiously towards her, he soon managed to grab hold of the rope around her neck and lead her gently to the safety of an animal carrying box. Then, back at the shelter, the terrified dog balked at leaving the safety of her carry crate. Her head turned sideways to avoid eye contact with the human. But again, Takis wouldn't let this discourage him, and he began making clicking and kissing noises to encourage the animal to come out. When she finally left the crate, Takis began his mission to gain her trust. He approached her slowly, again talking to her reassuringly and moving his hand slowly towards her head in an attempt to pet her. The animal was having none of it though and snapped at him, her teeth on show once again. To avoid being bitten, Takis sensibly changed tactics. Starting in the middle of her back, further away from her snapping jaw, her rescuer stroked her back, and this time she let him. Takis then progressively moved further up her back until finally he reached her head, which happily she allowed him to pet with no fuss. From that point on, with Takis' amazing care, the dog, now called Lena, improved every day. Soon she was coming to Takis' calls, wagging her tail, and nuzzling up to him for some much-needed affection. She can even be seen jumping up to gain attention and show off her newly acquired confidence. Of course, not only her fear of humans needed some serious attention, but her weight did too. Feeding her on 4 small meals a day, Takis aimed to remedy the starvation she had suffered. And users on Facebook all agreed that the effects of his love and food were clear. Merrily Judith voiced this opinion when she wrote, "Lena's eyes look brighter, and there's hope in them now. Good for her to eat small meals. After being starved for so long, her stomach can only handle so much. Takis, you are so wise. It wasn't long before the regular food made a positive impact on Lena's bony appearance. With her improved health, she was now ready to make some friends. Takis wrote on the shelter's Facebook page, "Today I take her out from her private area for some time to meet the other dogs. She's doing great." A video uploaded by Takis to depict her heartbreaking journey shows the dog's new friendships as she runs about and play fights with the shelter's other rescues. Many of those following the plight of the poor pooch commended Takis' amazing work. Jody Alexandra Sullivan, for example, wrote, "You are so selfless. The world needs more people like you, Takis." Sandra Summers agreed, writing, "You can tell from her eyes that she's starting to live, not just exist. Better days ahead for this darling girl." While many people supported Takis through their words and reaction to the tale of Lena, some decided to help him in a more creative way. 17 people stepped up and sponsored Lena. By setting up a monthly or yearly donation plan, these kind people have provided Lena with the food and other vital care she needs. Sponsoring a dog helps maintain the sanctuary and its work because it runs solely on Takis' money and donations. Taki states, "Every small donation is very important for my shelter. I thank you very much for the support." As for Lena, her story has finally reached the happy ending she deserves. The now healthy and loving animal has found a forever home. Luckily for Takis, he won't have to say goodbye to her forever, since her new home is still in Crete, only a 90-minute journey away. He writes, "When I have time, I can go and see her."